Okay, good afternoon. I won't take much time except to remind the young scholars here who would be the torchbearers of the discipline in the years and decades to come with few of my thoughts. However, let me at the outset thank Professor Padi for his kindness, love and affection. I won't be here without his repeated calls, reminding that I have been coming here since the first event I should make it. I was not in a mind to come because of commitments. I'm here because of Professor Padi, not for anything else. And I'm also here for my love for students and my hope that someday we will stop talking and start working in the discipline of communication. When it happens, there will be a game changer. Indians are prone to this talking, doing less, particularly in the case of communication. When I entered Madras University, I was told that journalism, communication had a certain history with a certain year. And I was also taught as a master student, as you are taught. About communication wrongly. We continue to teach, I am emphatic about it, we continue to teach something about the discipline wrongly. That must change. And we are also caught up in the winds of market-driven changes which have come to influence our idea or notion of what is communication. And I'm not blaming the ancestors for this. All of us have to share the blame. And blame game is a very futile one. These have to be seen as journeys that have succeeded or journeys that have failed. One of the powerful metaphors used by the first great communication philosopher of this land, Buddha, is the metaphor of journey. And in his notion, you can't travel the path until you become the path yourself. We have been told that the path is external to us. So the path has to be internalized. This can be captured differently when you invoke the words of Mahatma Gandhi. Be the change you want to become. So these are no different words of wisdom. So let us remind ourselves about what Buddha said, that you can't travel until you become the path. Until you become the path. And this is necessary going by the changes, transformations scholars in the discipline have experienced in different countries. And my only suggestion to young scholars is you should be inspired by someone to become the path yourself, to make the journey. You can't travel alone. This person could be a living person or a dead person. This person could be a living scholar or a dead scholar or philosopher. But we need the support of this person to make this journey possible, to make this one a successful one. And the journey is made by the greats in our discipline, provide us a lot of clues about what is problematic in communication studies in many countries of the world as we are becoming part of this annual event NMC. So this must make us think as it is making us to belong to a fraternity, as it is making us to cultivate a collective cultural memory of Indian communication studies. Okay, so it is not having plenary sessions or parallel sessions with n number of papers. We are attracted to this because of what James Carey said in 1988 about the need to redefine communication radically. Because being an American scholar, he was trained by this fact that American communication scholars had a disdain for things cultural. They have become obsessively empirical. We have to strike a balance between empirical knowledge and cultural knowledge. Something like culture cannot be dealt with in terms of numbers, as many of the papers unfortunately have dealt with social media cultures. Moment you have a prefix or suffix culture, numbers become the burden. After so many years as a senior professor in communication, Carey writes a book in which the first line goes like this: I wanted to understand communication at this point of time, and a wise man suggested, as I was reading serious literature on communication. This is after he graduated, after he became somebody in the academia, he wanted to revisit literature on communication, wherein somebody suggests, go and read John Dewey. This is how he opens his monumental chapter on a cultural approach to communication, which you should pick up and read. Why John Dewey? John Dewey said famously, and Carey could not understand the meaning of it, of all things, communication is the most wonderful. This is a very deceptive statement, according to Carey, because it is a false statement. What is a statement? Of all things, communication is the most wonderful. According to Carey, this is either a false statement or a very mundane statement. Cannot be trusted. But this opens a huge door of opportunity for James Carey. When he was exceeding the middle point of his career and entering the fag end of his career, here is a great communication scholar who seeks to understand communication studies with a set of questions. And the fundamental question is, what is the contestation between communication as transmission, communication as ritual? And he passes the judgment in the book that we must embrace the ritual approach to communication, which is nothing but the cultural approach to communication, which can make us to see news not as information, social media scenarios not in terms of numbers, but as drama. According to Carey, news is not information, news is drama. This was long before news became a drama across the world on television. At least 15 to 20 years before news became a drama, Carey was saying news is drama. When you look at it in a positive sense. So let us not study Indian television in a negative sense. If you are trying to understand Indian television as a site of ritual model of communication, you would not have negative associations about how our anchors are behaving, how our newscasts are done or made. So that's what I wanted to say. And my parting message is these are short-term, really short-term events. Any annual event like NMC is a very, very short-term event, and we are bombarded with so many encounters. Okay, and we are also made to recognize certain things. If it is an encounter, in the real sense, we see a new reality. If it is a recognition, we see a representation. This is the summation of the famous French philosopher Gilles Deleuze's understanding of reality as encountered, reality as recognized. So my message to any scholar is get away from the logic of representations, imageries, and recognition of something. You recognize something in your area for, particularly PhD scholars, and that is going to land you in a trap. You need to move beyond that stage of recognition, stage of misrecognition, and put yourself in the task of encountering a new reality. Just as Carey encountered when he was exiting the middle part of the career, a senior communication scholar who took a radically different stand from 95% of the American professors of 90s. That was an encounter. Carey was Carey because he was encountering a new reality of communication studies in US. So there is a lot we can do together as we lack a tradition rooted in native communication philosophies, ancient communication philosophies, as we are obsessively gravitating towards, I won't say Western. Western is a colonial term, a trap. So don't use these terms which continue to imprison us. And our higher education institutions, unfortunately, I don't want to name the institutions and the scholars in the post-independent era who have got us so many traps. One such trap is modernity. I too was a prisoner of this, and of late when I write, I am very conscious in not using this term modernity, which is a very, very what to say, not a wrong term, but a trap which can put us in the same prism of Orientalism. So it was a new kind of Orientalism made possible by the post-independent Indian academia, particularly in the discipline of history, where we only talk about political modernity. We don't talk about social modernity. So let us not get into these traps, these terms, this mainstreaming logic, these ideologies which are about getting us the imaginary relationships with the reality. So we are actually at a very opportune time, a golden moment in history, wherein we can leverage, if only we understand that these are traps, and if only we understand that we can bridge what our ancestors believed in as communication philosophies, and what we could not do over the last 100 plus years. Ever since Annie Besant wanted to teach University of Madras a lesson when she started the first certificate program in journalism. Thank you very much. Wish you all the best.